Has your health been covered up? Today, it's Revealing Wholeness with Dr. Troy-Munson, presented to you by Infinity Whole Health.
Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Troy-Munson on Revealing Wholeness. Today we get to talk about breast development. And I have both men and women, when they're developing, when they're young, they can have things happen to them that are very stressful mentally. And like I have a gentleman who at 13, his father died and he doesn't get any hair on his chest. And at age 28, he starts on a product and all of a sudden he starts growing hair on his chest. And he had been stunted from that point, and his pituitary was affected, and so we isolate that and we start fixing it. I'll have women that their breast development doesn't happen, so they have one that's bigger, or even sometimes they're misshapen, and they wonder what to do about that. And it's much easier to catch it earlier than later, but once again, we're going to first look at the mental side of it, the stressful side of it, but we're also going to support things like pituitary. We're going to support the mammary glands themselves to get them to start developing. And you can do that because every tissue in the human body has precursors that tell it to develop. And so we call those cell determinants. They determine the cell and they make it replicate and they make it healthy. Those cell determinants are found, like I say, in the pancreas, they're found in the brain, they're found in the liver, they're found in the muscle, they're found in the heart, they're also found in the breast tissue. And so that mammary tissue becomes very important to help that gland begin to develop itself and to become correct. Now the breast tissue, though, needs a lot of nutrients. If we think about it, what do the breasts do? Well, the breasts feed a child. Well, what does a child need? It needs a profound amount of nutrients. And again, that comes from the woman's body, but breast tissue are designed to hold a lot of nutrients that way as well as get them to the child. And so we use things like tillandsia, which I don't recommend that you go out and get Spanish moss, which is what it is. It's the hanging moss that hangs from trees in the South. If you've seen it on scary movies and things like that, but it's processed in a way that's more organic and whole and right, and we can get all the nutrients out of it. It's very nutrient dense. Chlorophyll is very nutrient dense. Both these substances have sex hormone factors that help the breast develop, that help even the male testes develop, that help even our pituitary, our thyroid, our adrenals, help all of our glands develop correctly. And so anytime that you're going to support breast development, you're going to support other things as well. The interesting thing about the breast tissue, there's one tissue that it directly affects it hormonally, and that's the adrenal glands. And so the adrenals are very much our stress regulators and adapters. Anytime we're under stress, our adrenals are taking the hit, and the adrenals will directly affect the breast tissue. What do the adrenals want? Well, they want lots of vitamin C, which is copper and other trace nutrients. The adrenals also want zinc, because zinc and copper together is the main minerals that generate our sex hormones from the adrenals that handle stress and keep us healthy, both sides, men and women. So that's a little touch on breast development and what we'd want to do there. If we're looking at an herbal side to try and help regulate and manage breast development, that would be dong quai or angelica. And so those are kind of a 1-2-3 punch kind of a thing when it comes to breast development. If you have more questions, you can always reach me on the information at the end of this podcast. And if things are working for you, please give us a holler and a shout out. We'd love to hear from you. And until next time, I'm Dr. Troy-Munson on Revealing Wholeness.
This concludes another episode of Revealing Wholeness with Dr. Troy-Munson. If you have any questions concerning this podcast or others, you can reach Dr. Munson by email at chiroman, that's CHIRO man, at dr.com. Or you can call him at his office during office operation hours at 360-893-8586. This show is sponsored by Infinity Whole Health on the Disruptors Podcast Network.